It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels. Hello. What's happening, guys? Good afternoon. Hope you are having a good Saturday. Hello. I'm having a very good day. I woke up this morning, checked my analytics. That is me officially over 14,000 subscribers. It was like 14,004 this morning. So, I have this goal of getting to 15k this year, so I think it's possible. I'll keep trying, keep grinding, keep making videos. How's everybody? Just hit a year of subscribing. Thank you so much, dude. Much appreciated. And supporting, even better. Thanks for supporting. The supporting helps so much, actually. I really appreciate it. So I've got my heavy intercessors just off camera up here. Where's one? So I'm going to look at them in a second. I'm going to give this guy a quick base coat. I'm just going to try and get some random bits and pieces done this morning. I noticed that some Space Marine pre-orders went on sale this morning, so if you're that way inclined to grab some of the Space Marine pre-orders as well, that's an option. Where the hell is my painting handle? Here it is. Hey Max, good morning, good afternoon. Really enjoy the channel. Thank you so much, dude. Really helps with my list building. I appreciate that. I'm going to be trying to do a video about list building this week, actually, because there was like a Sons of Sanguinius list that went 4-1 at like a really big event with like some of the top players in the world just this week past, and I'm needing to build a Sons of Sanguinius list because I want to enter. Don't know if you guys saw, Tabletop Tactics have like added this thing to their app where there's like a league you can enter. And you can play against your friends, and you can be part of the open league on Tabletop Tactics. So I kind of want to enter that league just because it seems like it might be quite fun. So I need to build a Sons of Sanguinius list this week, and obviously I've played Sons of Sanguinius twice now since the codex changes, or sorry, since the balance data slate changes, I guess. And I have won both times. But I don't actually know if I feel that I just don't feel really that confident about it. Like, I don't think my list is the best it could be. I don't know if I'm playing it well enough, maybe. But regardless, so I want to basically get out, see what some other top players are doing for Sons of Sanguinius, and see if I can't take some inspiration from that and get myself a strong Sons of Sanguinius list to enter the tournament or to enter the league. Tabletop Titans sorry, I keep calling them Tabletop Titans. It's not, it's Tabletop Tactics. If you're not familiar with Tabletop Tactics, you should be. Big Warhammer YouTube channel, and they've just developed like a new system in their app for the open league. I'm going to probably make a video on it, to be honest, because I think it's a good way to get like into competitive playing without having to like go to an event or take things super seriously. Lets people that, like me, with a couple of kids who maybe struggle to go to as many events as I would like to go to, have a little bit of like a competitive play, or more competitive. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm going to enter it, and so I'm going to build a list this week, and then I'm going to enter the Tabletop Tactics Open League. So I'm going to do that this week. Where can you submit your list? You just submit, if you want to submit a list for me to look on the stream, Max, all you gotta do is just put it in any of my YouTube comments. So any YouTube video of mine, just put your list. As long as it's a new comment and not a reply to like an existing comment, then I get a notification that you put I get a notification for every new comment. It's really easy for me to search through new comments, so I just go through all the new comments basically every week on a Sunday and pick a bunch of the lists to get onto the Army List show. I think there's probably about 10 lists to look at this week again. A lot of people are trying to build that they're like, I wouldn't say their first Sons of Sanguinius list, but a lot of people are trying to build a strong Sons of Sanguinius list since the balance date slate changes. So it's kind of an exciting time to be Blood Angels, especially after we sort of languished at the bottom there with very poor rules for 6 months. So this guy right here actually is part of that. I ran Assault Intercessors like last week, and I figured to myself, like, I want a Assault Intercessor, this guy, with a power fist and a plasma pistol to be the sergeant. And I've never really built Assault Intercessors with this weapon loadout. So that's precisely why I built this guy on stream, maybe. I think I built him on stream last week. So just, I'll throw a couple of coats of red paint on him in between what I'm doing to the heavy intercessors this morning. Oh, I'm going to throw a bit of paint on this as well, actually. You've got a really strong Sons of Sanguinius list, and I'd love to see it, because like I said, I got to build a really strong Sons of Sanguinius list this week. And I have, although I have been running Sons of Sanguinius, I've been keeping some of my comfort picks. My comfort picks in 10th edition are very much like Land Raiders and Vindicator tanks. Big comfort picks for me this edition. They always seem to perform well, the Vindicator tanks. So did anyone buy the new models today? Anyone? I did wonder about running 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, honestly. As like, that's all your fire support. You just run 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, and then everything else is like Sons of Sanguinius, jump infantry, or just choppy melee type infantry. Because I think the Ballistus Dreadnought at 140 points is pretty decent. I've run it a bunch of times. I think it's decent for its points cost. And if you're trying to keep the amount of points you spend in fire support cheap, then I don't think you can spend much less, unless you go Devastator squads, but I don't think I recommend Devastator squads this edition. I don't think they're very good. I mean, maybe you could deploy them on a building 40 inches away, but then the chance of you actually having a line of sight you need to kill the targets you need to kill seems low. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone that subscribed. 14,000 subscribers was hit last night, which is getting a little bit crazy. 15k is definitely my goal for the year. That would be super cool. So I think I can get there. I've got plans. People enjoyed the video that came out this week as well. So and we've got the first game of boarding actions on the channel now. I really enjoyed that. Definitely going to do some more boarding actions content this year. And I'm enjoying the fact that we can actually play Sons of Sanguinius again and seem to actually... I don't know how competitive we are, but I mean, I have won the 2 games I've played. I've got Death Guard this week, so I'm playing Colin and his Death Guard this week, and Death Guard have been a notorious bad matchup for me, right? Because Death Guard have a lot of ways to get fight first, Death Guard have a lot of shenanigans to do mortal wounds, Death Guard reduce your toughness and your armor save, which is really rough on Space Marines. So I feel like Death Guard are a really anti-Marine list. Like, I think Death Guard are really difficult to play against. You guys find Death Guard difficult? The Eternal Crusader. Hello, how are you doing? How is your Blood Angels project going, Eternal Crusader? Ray says, afternoon, definitely enjoyed the list video, just wondering why the Astreus was left out. Ray, we did the super heavy tanks in another tier list video. In one of the bigger mashup videos we made. Like, if you go onto the channel and look at the tier list, like the tier list playlist, there was only 2 super heavy tanks, right? So we just did them in another video. I think we did them along with all the Gravis Marines and stuff, because the reason behind doing them with that one was because there was like 34 vehicles, I guess, and we didn't want to add even more load when we were doing the vehicles. So we did review the tier list. Personally, I actually kind of like the Astraeus tank. I'm not sure I like it as much as I did in 9th. So it's probably somewhere in B. Whereas in 9th, I actually think it was kind of like almost like an A tier pick. Like, it was a good tank in 9th edition. With those extra shields it had and all the different weapon loadouts, it was very good in 9th. I think it's not bad in 10th. But yeah, we did include the Astraeus, and we did also, I forget what the other, oh yeah, the other super heavy is the Thunderhawk. Not that anyone's running a Thunderhawk right now, it's a sort of model that nobody runs ever, right? But yeah, if you click on the channel, like if you go back to the Blood Angels Commander channel and click at the top for like playlists, there's a playlist for all the tier list videos, so they're easy to find. I mean, it'll be called like 10th edition tier list playlist or something, right? And one of them, I mean, it'll be on the thumbnail. I'm sure it said like super heavies in the thumbnail. But yeah, if you're ever struggling to find something, those playlists that I make, like I've got a playlist for like competitive armies for 10th edition. I've got a playlist for let me think. Use your words, John. I've got a playlist for competitive armies. I've got a playlist for like every tactics video. I've got the tier list playlist, and then maybe I think I've got like a video game playlist, because I very occasionally play some 40k video games on the channel. I did want, do you know what, I was playing Chaos Gate over the Christmas holidays. I'm gonna have to start that game again for the 3rd time. That game is brutally hard. It just came out on the PlayStation, I think, this week as well. Because I saw that they were doing a launch stream on PlayStation. I was like, oh, that's cool. But like anyone that's never played that sort of game before, oh my god, that game is hard. Like, that game makes XCOM look easy, and I think XCOM is actually like a really difficult game. Like, if you've never played XCOM and you go in, I feel like it's a hard game to get in to play for the first time. Like, it's just a different design philosophy. And Chaos Gate is brutal. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna have to start over in Chaos Gate for like the 3rd. So first playthrough I played on hard, I failed. Second playthrough I played on normal difficulty, I failed. I'm literally gonna have to do a playthrough on easy if I want to complete it. Gone are my days of having time for video games. Like when I was a kid, I used to play all the video games on hard, but now it makes more sense to just play them on a difficulty I can get through them, because my time is super limited. They always joke about, like, when you're a kid, you have no money but no video games, but when you're an adult, you've got plenty of money but no time for video games. So, Blood Angels is on pause while I finish my Dark Angels. Shouldn't take long, as Terminator have fewer models. Yeah, it's still 20-something Terminators, though. It's still going to take you a long time, I feel, to paint all those Terminators, I guess. Ray says he's going to be playing a 9th edition Crusade campaign against some friends, so been thinking of lists to build. Oh, nice. Okay. So last time I was on here, I gave these guys like an all-over wash of Agrak's Earthshade. So now I'm just going to pick out some areas to lighten back up with the Evil Sun paint. I'm not going to do any edge highlighting on these guys. I'm just gonna have this recess wash. Well, I think that's all they need, honestly. There's definitely a battle-ready type colour scheme I'm going for on these guys. I think the heavy intercessors look good, though. They've been fun to paint. They've taken me a long time, but they have been fun to paint. Oh, what, you're using an airbrush, so the bone armor is already done now, it's just with tedious details. How are Deathwing Terminators? Because see, when I did the Blood Angels Terminators, man, I found that there was, like, so many little details to do. It took me forever to do this. I did the Blood Angels Terminator Assault Squad, and I feel like it was one of the longest projects I've done for, like, 5 models, because every model had, like, tons of little intricate details, and you want to do a good job, right? So, like, you end up spending probably more time on some of them than you maybe wanted to. But yeah, I felt like I spent ages doing the Blood Angels Assault Terminators, and I had 10 of them. I actually I did them in a 5-man batch. I kind of wish I'd done all 10 in one batch. I just did 5 in the batch paint that I was doing, and the 5 took me forever, man. I mean, it looked good in the end, right? But they did take a hell of a long amount of time. Diamond exterior cleaning. I cut them off, mate. Any models with tubes get the snip. Really? I didn't know people cut the tubes off, I guess. I thought I was doing something cool making these tubes blue. But yeah, this is the same sort of batch paint I'm doing, I guess, because I have 10 heavy intercessors. So once again, I've chickened out and decided to only do 5 at a time. To be fair, I've been painting these 5 now. It must be like 2 or 3 months. I don't know how long ago I started these heavy intercessors now. Feels like ages. At the moment, I'm literally on one painting session a week is all I have time for at the moment, really. So that's probably why there's like, my progress on them has been so crap. I really need to get back to at least 2 sessions a week. The problem I have is I spend a lot of time making videos, and that eats into the time that I have for painting. The tactics videos with the maths in them, I wouldn't say they're a nightmare, but they're a huge time sink, because like I work on them like 2 or 3 nights a week. So it's like if I'm making a video with a lot of maths in it, then I'm probably not getting to do any painting that week. I'm just fortunate I have a lot of my Blood Angel stuff already done, I guess. Two Scoops, good afternoon. You're gonna get some paint on the impulsor today. Right on. What have you been putting in the impulsor? Because I've got an impulsor, but I just don't seem to run it all that often. I did see last week someone put a list with an impulsor into the tactics video. Sorry, not the tactics video. That's too much paint. God damn it. I think there's too much on the brush there. But yeah, I haven't found too much use for my impulsor, which is funny because I did take the impulsor to a tournament in 9th edition. The reason I took it was to be ablative wounds for my blade guard, and I am starting to run blade guard in 10th. Like I had 6 blade guard in my list just this week past. Oh, you cut the tubes on the back of their legs? Yeah, they just make it awkward to paint the back of their legs, honestly, and I don't do sub-assemblies. I tried sub-assemblies when I first came back to Warhammer, and honestly, I made so much mess of the models trying to do sub-assemblies. Like, mess in terms of, like, you know, gluing them once you've painted them is just a nightmare, I found. So I just don't bother with sub-assemblies. So yeah, some of the tubes just make it super awkward to paint for no reason, I feel like. But I guess that's where the tubes live. There's not much you can do about it, is there? Good morning, Phil. I just have one impulsor for my company heroes. Ah, company heroes, that's a good idea. A captain and a lieutenant. Company heroes have a lot of wounds, don't they? I haven't actually really run them. Like, I ran them when they were, remember when the rules were a little bit different, like, in the first index, where they were more like, well, they were the non-Primaris ones, where you could take some guys with storm shields and some guys with las cannons, and it was a little bit janky. I ran them a couple of times with Tycho at that point, and thought that was pretty cool. Have you thought about putting Tycho with them, or you don't like that idea? What does the captain give them that makes them better than Tycho? Or maybe it's just Blood Angels players, we just love Tycho and want to see him get some action. The heavies look like they're coming along nicely. They are, Phil. I feel like they haven't been my best model. Right, and I've been very, very slow at getting them done. But I do think Gravis Marines are always fun to paint, because they're kind of big. So they're a little bit more forgiving. Plus, because I don't do edge highlighting, Gravis Marines work pretty... I feel like there's enough like nooks and crannies in their armor where like the recess wash works really well on them. Eternal Crusader said he found a new white primer that's much better than Vallejo white. Vallejo does a premium primer for motorcycle helmets that covers completely in 2 coats. It's my new primer. I've been using Color Forge. Have you heard of them? I think they're a fairly new company, but their spray cans are bigger than the Games Workshop cans, and they're 25% bigger and they're 25% cheaper, I think, last time I looked, because I made a video on them. And if you're 25% bigger and 25% cheaper, then it works out like basically 40% better value. So I've been using the Vallejo primer, the Color Forge primer now for quite a few models, and I want to say that it's just this. It's basically the same. Like, it's so close to the Games Workshop one. I don't know why anyone would. The only reason to pay for the extra money for the Games Workshop one is because you're in a Games Workshop store and it's right there and you can just buy it. But if you're like an independent store, then have a look at the Color Forge one. I was actually looking, I want to buy another crate, not a crate of it. I want to buy another can of it this month because I've got some alien models, like the movie Aliens. And I've been wanting to get them sprayed for a while, the Marines and stuff, so I'm wanting to buy some Color Forge. But yeah, no, I think the Colour Forge stuff, if you've not tried it, is good value for money. Happy Saturday, Todd. Good afternoon. The captain is a free strat and hits like a truck. The lieutenant added punches as well to the unit. Shoots decently out of the firing deck. Yeah, maybe the company heroes is better than I give them credit for. They do have a bunch of like special issue bolt guns, and the heavy bolter is a 3 damage heavy bolter, right? They're all 4 wounds too, and they're all OC2, and they're pretty cheap. I haven't really seen anyone run them in a competitive list yet. But I think maybe you should give them a try, like. Oh, Phil, good luck at your GT, man. Yeah, I feel like all my sessions on the heavy intercessors are going reasonably well now. Like, these guys are really starting to take shape. I don't know if it's top tier, the company heroes. Yeah, I don't know if they're top tier either, but I do think they seem like they could be quite decent, right? Sometimes, though, it's not about being top tier. It's about playing what you know and playing what you've practiced, because that guy that went 6-0 with Blood Angels at the LVO, like, he had Terminators in his list. No one, literally no one, is running Blood Angels Terminators. Maybe bar that one guy. So that one guy had figured out how to make Terminators really work for his list, and he ran it to LVO and he did amazing. So it sort of proves that you don't have to like, if you've got a unit that you think's good and it fits your list, you don't have to conform with what everybody else is doing. It would be nice if the company heroes were good. I don't know why I haven't tried them. I like their OC, I like their wounds. I guess I like their damage to a certain extent. They're probably quite good in Gladius. maybe they're fine in Blood Angels. Need to try them at some point, I think. Did anyone pre-order any of the new Marines this morning? Well, all the stuff that they announced this morning was previously on sale from the Leviathan box, right? Because I went on to Element Games to have a look to see what was on sale this morning, and it was the Ballistus Dreadnought, which I already have 2 of. It was the Furnace Marines that I already have 20 of on the sprue, and it was the Terminator Captain, the new one, who I do have 2 of as well, because I got half the box of Leviathan from someone else. Yeah, I guess my one doesn't have weapon options, but I'm sure I've got a Power Fist I could find to stick onto that new Terminator Captain. And if I don't, you could probably pick one up on eBay, right? But yeah, the pre-orders this morning were fine, I guess. Nathan says he's about to play a game against Death Guard. Anything to keep in mind going in? If he's got the Foul Blight spawns attached to units, I think they're typically only attached to Plague Marines. That can be super problematic, because that makes their unit fight first. If he's anything like the guy that I play that runs Death Guard, he'll be running 12 Death Guard Plague Marines in a Land Raider or a Rhino, with a bunch of, like, my opponent, when he plays against me, brings 2 Foul Blight spawns. So basically I can't charge any of his Plague Marines unless I want to lose half my unit on the charge. So just be aware of that, Nathan. Remember as well, he's probably going to make you -1 toughness and -1 to your armor save for the entire game. So your armor is going to feel or your survivability is going to feel a hell of a lot weaker. I think it's all about being within 9 inches of him. In the early game it's like 3 inches, in the late game it's 9 inches. So if you have the option to stay more than 9 inches away with a unit, then probably try and stay more than 9 inches away with a unit. So if you've got dreadnoughts or tanks or anything, keep them 9 inches away. Death Guard become more problematic the closer you get to them, I guess. I don't know what else is there to say about Death Guard. The Overwatch on the Death Shroud Terminators is absolutely brutal. It will kill tons of Marines, even though they're Strength 3 Flamers. They're going to be Strength 3 Flamers with that -1 to your toughness and -1 to your armor save. So if he's got Terminators with Flamers, be super respectful of them, even though if you ask him what strength they are and he says Strength 3, he's going to get +1 to wound, +1 to your save, and then he's twin linked, so he's re-rolling all the wounds as well. And a squad of Death Shroud Flamers can get like, Death Shroud Terminators can get like 30-40 Flamer hits. So yeah, there's a few things to watch out, I guess, when you're into Death Guard. I actually find them a really difficult army for us to deal with. If you can beat or survive well against Death Guard, then you're probably going to do reasonably well, because I feel like in some ways they're kind of they counter exactly what we want to do, which is get in there and chop things up. Mpanda DeCarnan, is that how you say it? Is going for his 4th ever game of 40k today. Cool, dude. Welcome to the hobby. I hope your 4th ever game goes well. Kill those Ultramarines for us. They're like our nemesis. They're not really. But I do love beating Ultramarines players, because they are a little bit high and mighty, you know, like we are the best chapter, etc, etc, etc. And you're like, well, not today. What was it? I was just watching Toy Story with my kid. Not today, Zerg! I just wanted to put a few colours on this so it didn't look so bloody terrible when I'm on stream with it. I mean, it still looks terrible, but just not white. They do need 2 characters attached to the Plague Marines to be effective in melee. Yeah, but if they attach them, they're very, very dangerous, and they can also do grenades multiple times, so before they even charge you, they can do up to like 10 or 12 mortal wounds. But the way that Colin was running it, he was basically able to throw grenades 3 times every turn, and it was only going to cost him 1 CP, so that's a potential 18 mortal wounds every turn for 1 CP. Death Guard are pretty nasty, man. Nathan says, I'm running Sons of Sanguinius. Yeah, that's going to be tough. The hardest unit is honestly going to be the Plague Marines, probably, to deal with. If you have any shooting at all, shoot the Plague Marines. I think that was nerfed. I think what was nerfed? The triple grenades. Oh yeah, I think they changed it maybe so you can only do grenades twice a turn. I think you're right, actually, Eternal Crusader, because I think Colin was upset about it. And I was like, yeah, it was a little bit silly, Colin, that you're throwing like 18 mortal wounds of grenades from Plague Marines every turn. Dwayne! If you smell what Dwayne is cooking. How you doing, Dwayne? I was going to say, I'm probably going to give this Sergeant a gold helmet, honestly. So I don't know why I've painted his head red. I'll probably just paint it white afterwards or something. Could have tried to cover it with duct tape or something, but I've painted it. Probably just autopilot, thinking like this guy needs a couple of coats of red paint to get him up to like a nice bright base tone, and then I'll start worrying about the other stuff after that. Do you remember when there used to be rules, like if the guy had a bionic arm, you used to get like +1 strength and stuff like that? That used to be like a war gear card, isn't it? You could like give a character a bionic arm like 5 extra points, +1 strength. Some of that customization has definitely been lost, I guess, over the years of 40k. Let that dry as well. Alright, back to heavy intercessors. Nope, it's not the camera. Get them likes up, boys. Yeah, Mike. How you doing, Mike? We got tons of likes on the videos this week. The battle report did really well. The tier list videos always get a lot of likes. So, yeah, when I went to bed last night, it was at 13,999 subscribers, and I was kind of hanging on. I was like, it feels like a big deal to hit 14,000. So I was like hanging on for like an hour and no one subscribed, and I was like, alright, I gotta go to bed. So literally the first thing I did when I woke up this morning was like roll out of bed and check the app on my phone, and it was like 14,004 subscribers. I was like, yay! 15,000 is the goal now. That's like feels like a good goal. That feels like, because I think it was like 2 years ago I got to 10,000. And it makes sense, right? Because like I guess there is only a finite amount of Blood Angels players that care what I have to say, I guess. But yeah, 15,000 feels like halfway to. I know it's not halfway to 20,000. It'll feel like halfway to me because, like, obviously, like I made a goal at the start of the channel to get to 10,000. Not sure if I could ever get to 10,000, but got there. So I think now the goal will be like 20,000. Again, I'm not sure I can ever get there, but I think it's good to set goals that are hard to achieve. If you don't set hard to achieve goals, then you won't. Like, I'm 40 now, and the one thing that I learned in life, and probably could have learned it like 10 years before, and there's a quote you hear all the time, is like, there's no substitute to hard work. Like, if you want something done right, and you want, you know, and it has to be good and stuff, there's literally no substitute for hard work. So 20,000 is a crazy goal to have, but 15,000 would be insanely cool to hit, I guess. So 15,000 subscribers this year, that's the goal. Some of the stuff that captured the imagination has been lost, says Tom. Yeah, it's weird. It is a weird one. It's like, so 40k has gone through this transition, I guess, where it was like super hardcore to get into 40k, and then it's become much more aimed towards competitive, which is a strange one to me, because I am somewhat competitive, right? Like, I go to tournaments, I like to field strong armies, I like to beat my friends. But I thought I was kind of the minority. Like, I thought a lot of people were in 40k for... A lot of people love the lore of 40k. Like, super love the lore, the stories, the books, the heresy, everything, right? I don't know if I'm as... Well, I know for a fact I'm not a lore guy. But, like, I thought the majority of people were more lore-based than competitive. I thought competitive was always the minority. You know? Like, if you go and play like any sort of online game, most of the big games are not competitive games, I feel like. Like, the biggest game in the world is like World of Warcraft, right? I know that there is like PvP in World of Warcraft, but for the most part I think you're playing World of Warcraft for the story and the quests and the social stuff. You know, most people, probably a small majority of people, are playing for the PvP stuff. So I thought it was kind of the same with Warhammer, but it seems like 40k has changed. Like, 40k has made a definite change to be like, we want to be seen as a much more competitive game, which is fine. I mean, it's good to be balanced and competitive, but it is also a little bit weird. Yeah, I'll get there, Matthew. I appreciate it. I'll keep grinding out, smashing out the videos. I like making YouTube videos. It's like my hobby now. Honestly, like, it's a weird one because, like, my hobby is Warhammer, but I possibly think I'm better at making videos now than I am at painting. I don't know. I always felt like I was a very average painter. But then like, you see, when you go to tournaments and stuff, you always see like the Golden Demon entries and stuff, and you're like, oh my god, like, these guys dwarf my skill, I could never paint that. And maybe that never happened, like, 10-15 years ago, that might not have happened so much. But everything's much more global now, you know, like, everybody can post their models online and you can see them and you can go, oh my goodness, his models look amazing compared to mine, you know? So that's a thing that I suppose can happen with the internet. So I don't know. I feel like so my hobby has gone from purely just playing Warhammer and thinking about it to talking about Warhammer, coming up with good builds and tactics, and then sharing them. I like sharing my painting too. I've been painting my Commander Dante. I gave him a set of wings. And I'm making a painting tutorial on how I paint Dante, but my painting tutorials don't get very many views, I guess, because there's way better people on the internet painting videos. But then maybe there's not better people doing tactic stuff. Good afternoon, Sean. How are you? Two Scoops had 3 Land Raider Tornadoes. I don't... See, that's the thing about this Tabletop Tactics League, Two Scoops. If you want to run some Land Speeders, you can run them. Tabletop Tactics League is, they're doing Legends in their league. Unless they've changed since they announced it, but when they announced it earlier in the week, it was going to include Legends. I was quite happy it included Legends, because I don't like the fact that all my Legends models just now sit in a shelf and gather dust and don't do anything, and I've got arguably thousands of pounds of Legends models. So if they're going to run a league that lets me run my Legends models, I might not use them very often. I mean, my first army list is probably not going to use any Legends, because I'm probably going to go to I think I'm going to GT in the summer, and that's not going to include Legends. So I'm not going to make any lists right now that include Legends, but I think Tabletop Tactics are right. I think it was the right call to include Legends. I think it's cool. That's one thing I hate, I suppose, if we talk about rules and changes and stuff. I hate it when people's models and people's collections become obsolete. Because people have spent time, effort, and money on those things, and they shouldn't become obsolete to make the game more competitive. We shouldn't be making people's collections obsolete, I feel like. I'm actually surprised that's not... You know, when companies come up with their goals or their pillars, these are the pillars of our company, this is what our company stands for, or this is the pillar of the design philosophy for the game. I feel like if I was in charge of 40k, one of my pillars would be, let's not make people's collections obsolete, because that pisses people off, right? Yeah, I used to run Land Speeders myself. Oh, Sean's got coronavirus again. Oh man, I'm sorry. I think we've had it twice in our house. It didn't hit us nearly as hard the second time as it did the first time. Didn't hit the kids nearly as hard as well. So hopefully it doesn't mess you up too bad, Sean. I really liked having attack bikes and land speeders in reserve, because they were cheap. You could usually fit one in reserve very, very cheaply, and then sometimes a land speeder would come in from reserve and do nothing. But I have had a land speeder come in from reserve and roll a double 6 on its damage and just do 14 damage to a Chaos Lord. It would actually be more than 14 because it's d6 plus 2, wasn't it? So it was actually, I rolled a double 6, so just came in from the edge of the board targeted like a... What did I target? I think it was some sort of like demon... I think that was it. I think it was a demon prince. Like a toughness 7 or 8 demon prince of Khorne with a bunch of wounds. My little land speeder just came in from the edge of the board, unloaded its multi-melt on him, hit twice, wounded twice, he failed to save twice, and then double 6 for damage. D6 plus 2 there. Have 16 damage on your Chaos Lord from full health, who you totally thought was totally like fine and safe where he was standing. No, he was standing too close to the edge away from the squad, so he's the closest target, so my land speeder can just blow him up. The Channel Crusader says, I understand not making old kits, but the whole Legend rules thing seems to really annoy me. I think GW are going too far in trimming all the factions down. Well, that's the thing, I guess if you want to make the game more competitive, you probably have to trim down the number of units. Which I don't know if they can actually really do, because they're intent on making a million different Primaris choices for Marines, right? So, can they even trim it down much? I don't think they can. I guess it doesn't change the fact that people that had Legends units that now can't use them are a bit upset about it. And yeah, if lots of tournaments are just like, we still support Legends, then maybe, I was going to say maybe it would force Games Workshop to bring some of them back. I think a good example was the Kratos tank, right? Because the Kratos tank came out like... You know what, I'm going to be lying if I even... Because I don't have a clue when the Kratos tank came out. But it definitely came out, and there was definitely a narrative around that tank. Like, this is a Horus Heresy tank that'll be really useful in your games of 40k. Like, I remember that for sure. So everyone was like, oh, the Kratos tank, look, lots of Volkites and stuff. Lots of competitive options for 40k. And a lot of people bought the Kratos tank, I feel like. Like, we had a while there where there was a lot of army lists where people were like, yeah, you know, the one thing that I could really use in Blood Angels is like one big fire supporty type tank. So a lot of people bought it, and then it was like, I don't even feel like it was a year. Maybe it was more than a year. Like I said, I can't remember the time. But was the Kratos tank even out a year when those Legends stuff changes come in? Because that's rubbish, right? If you just... Because those... I mean, the Kratos tank must be like £70. It's a lot of money. Maybe not a lot of money to Games Workshop, but certainly a lot of money to, you know, the end users, like us, or for kids. You know, like... Imagine that. The kid asks for that for their Christmas. Hey Dad, can I get a Kratos tank? You get it, you help them paint it, and then less than a year later it's like, oh, this model's Legends. That's rough, man. Good afternoon, Sang. Trying to juggle finishing a Ballistus and starting the Flamer Marines. Maybe I'll ignore them and start Dante instead. I think Ballistus is a good model to finish. I don't know what you're doing with the Flamer Marines. Mark was talking last night about, Thursday night, about them potentially being good in boarding actions, but I don't even know if they're good in boarding actions, those Flamer Marines. I don't really rate them at all. Mine, I must admit, mine are still all on their sprue. But then, I must admit, I have a Brutalis Dreadnought that I got probably damn close to a year ago as well now, that's still on its sprue, so... very much my building and painting are motivated by what I feel is competitive. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons that I've been doing these Heavy Intercessors for a while, is I think Heavy Intercessors are actually like a... They're a unit that's flown under the radar, because I think they're really good. But not many people are running them, honestly. Maybe it's... Yeah, I honestly don't know why people are not running heavy intercessors. Chat, why are you not running heavy intercessors? Because most people must own some of them by now, right? If you bought Strike Force Augustus, you got 5 of them. That's where I got my second 5. My first 5 I got in a Kill Team box. I think it was Pariah Nexus. I never actually played that Kill Team. I just got the Kill Team box for the heavy intercessors, and there was a Gravis Captain in there as well with like a special issue bolt rifle. Points versus scouts? I mean, they do different jobs, man. Heavy intercessors just roam up the middle of the board and friggin' survive. Everything that the enemy throws at them, they just laugh at it. They're like, we're heavy intercessors. We don't take damage, or we don't die to anti-infantry weapons. You need to hit the heavy intercessors with like strength 6 or above, really. Probably strength 7 to be killing them. Or killing them reliably, I guess. Donald got them because they're pseudo battle line terminators. So that's basically how I see them as well. But they're cheap as well, Donald. Is it Donald or Donato? Sorry, don't know why I said Donald. Probably Donald's a Scottish name. But yeah, I think they're cheap battle line terminators. They don't really have anything melee to speak of, but they're just going to sit on an objective and they're going to shoot, and they'll do a little bit of shooting and they'll do a little bit of scoring. And for 100 points, they're way more difficult to kill than like what else is 100 points? A squad of infiltrators. I feel like they're way more difficult to kill than a squad of infiltrators. I think they're also kind of amazing in boarding actions. You could probably take 2 squads of them in boarding actions pretty easily. I don't know if I feel I rate them, these options. Yeah, but I mean, they do something really different. They sit on an objective and they really survive. A good example of that is I think I got my heavy intercessors charged by like a group of 8-bound. I know World Eaters have taken a couple of nerfs, but the 8-bound are ferocious. And for the most part, if 8-bound charge a squad of like T4 Marines, they'll completely wipe the squad. And I think that's what my opponent probably thought. He probably was like, if I get these 8-bound into combat, I'll probably wipe his squad. And he got the 8-bound into combat with heavy intercessors, and they did all their attacks and all the nonsense. I say nonsense, I just mean like a lot of attacks, because Khorne get a lot of attacks and it can sometimes feel a little bit like nonsense if you're playing up against it. So he did all these attacks, and then it was like, alright, you killed 1 heavy intercessor. He's like, what? And I was like, well, yeah, that's it. T6. Makes a big difference against Khorne chainsword and weaponry like that. What do you think of boarding actions? How'd you play your first game of it? Yeah, I mean, if you like Space Hulk, I think you would like it. I did play my first game of boarding actions. I want to play it more often now. Blood Angels felt pretty strong in it. The game mode itself was nice and quick, which is good sometimes, because sometimes my wife doesn't always like me going out for massive amounts of time to play 40k because we've got 2 young kids. In fact, you know, like my streams like right now are literally limited to 90 minutes because that's what I've managed to bargain with my wife. Because obviously she'll have the kids while I stream, right? So I like boarding actions a lot. I want to play it again. I think it seems like a fun game mode. Seems like a balanced game mode. If you've got the terrain, then you should play it. It's the biggest problem is they've made it hard to get all the rules that you need. And in the video that I made last week, I mentioned that, and I'll mention it again in future videos because someone has to mention it, so Games Workshop maybe listens. Mike says I rate them in Gladius, but I'd rather have other things in other detachments. I don't know, I think I rate them in any detachment, honestly. If you're just looking for the cheapest models you can put on an objective that are hard to kill with OC10 for 5 guys, then I think it's Heavy Intercessors. I must admit, I don't have them in my current Blood Angels Sons of Sanguinius detachment. I do have Infiltrators in, but if you're playing Sons of Sanguinius, then you're technically pushing out. Donatos is helping his friend paint 300 guardsmen. Oh, man, those 300 guardsmen lists. They make me throw up a little bit in my mouth. The one that I played at the tournament, Donatos, was disgusting. I think we worked out that it was basically like 320 guardsmen in the list. I really wish I'd won that game. I think I would have needed to have like some more flamers or something to win that game, though. I just didn't have enough killing power, even with the aggressors doing as well as they did. Tough. It was tough. At least we converted them. Oh, well, that's cool, man. I love doing conversions myself, actually. I don't know if the new edition lends itself to conversions quite as much as the older editions did, though, right? For Blood Angels and that, you used to be able to like make your custom Death Company characters, and I feel a little bit sad. Like, I made this really cool custom captain on a bike with both arms magnetized, and then I made another custom Death Company captain on a bike with various magnetized arms and stuff like this, and all these cool characters that I made and ran for like 18 months to a year have been, well, they just, I guess they do exist, but now they don't have good attachment options, or they don't have good war gear themselves, so you just don't run them anymore. I guess that's something we have really lost, is the conversion aspect of Games Workshop hates kit bashing. Why is that? Good afternoon, Andonius, how are you? Thanks again for the gifted the other night, Andonius, do really appreciate it. I was saying I went to bed last night with 13,999 subscribers, and I was like just watching it. I was like, almost stayed like an extra hour just waiting for that 14,000 subscriber to tick over, but it just didn't come. So I was like, okay, I gotta go to bed. But when I woke up, the first thing I did was like get my phone, look at the subscribers, and it was up to 14,004. I was like, yes, we did it. The Blood Angels Commander chapter grows further. We're going to be hosting a GT in Scotland this year, by the way. If anyone can get themselves to Scotland. Trying to finalise the date, but it's probably going to be towards the end of May, June. Oh, is there a debate? There's a debate about kit bashing? I don't think they hate kit bashing, man. Sometimes kit bashes win like golden demons and stuff like that. Surely if they hated it, they'd say no kit bashing for golden demons and stuff. Kit bashing probably makes them a ton of money as well, because people buy extra kits and stuff. I mean, recently I bought those Horus Heresy Blood Angels helmets. I brought a Deathwatch upgrade sprue to give some of my guys Deathwatch type. I don't think any of these Heavy Intercessors have Deathwatch bits on them, but I think the second squad of Heavy Intercessor I'm making, one of them has like a Deathwatch shoulder pad. Nah, I don't think they hate kit bashing. But if it's a debate that drives people wild, then we can avoid that debate. I guess if you enjoy kit bashing, do kit bashing. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. If you didn't know this, the very first video I ever put on this channel was a kit bash video. And it got me 1 subscriber. And that 1 subscriber, who I don't know who it was, gave me the confidence to make another video. Because I figure if I put that video up and everyone was like, well, that's a crappy kit bash and nobody cares, I might have never made a second video. But I did make a second video because I got 1 subscriber from my kit bash video. So I started as a kit basher. And my kit bashes aren't even good. They're just me having fun. And that's the one thing about 40k that, like, if you're having fun and your opponent's having fun or you're having fun, I guess that's all that matters, right? Like, who cares? Just as long as you're not bothering anyone else, just have fun with it, I guess. Rambo says they support Pete the Wargamer, who's all about kit bashing. I don't know Pete, actually. Hi AFOC, how you doing? Talking about kit bashing, I've got a good idea for Centurion helmets. They look so small. So far, the only one that would be great is a Custodes Dreadnought helmet, but I'm not that rich. I don't know if Centurion helmets look that small, man. I've got 3 Centurions. I never really had a problem with their helmet size. But yeah, it would be difficult to find something that fitted in there instead. But you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with the size of the helmets the Centurions wear. I painted mine yellow on my Assault Centurions, and I think they look pretty good. Their weapon options have always been kind of funny for as many years as you can remember, honestly. Like, you know, like a lot of people used to say, like, buy the Death Company kit because it has good weapon options in it, and then a lot of people would say, like, buy Vanguard Veterans because the Vanguard Veteran kit has, like, 4 Thunderhammers in it. Some boxes just don't come with good weapon options, some come with better. It's like they've made a conscious choice with the Primaris models as well, where there is very few weapon options too. Which which for the most part I think I don't like. Like, I preferred having more weapon options. You know, most of the the weapon options in the Primaris kits are so restricted that, like, even the Sergeant in most of the like, you go back to like a Devastator squad, for example, even though it's a shooting unit, the Sergeant was always allowed like a Power Fist or a Thunderhammer or something, right? Like, you were always allowed some sort of melee weapon on that Sergeant. And Primaris models, for the most part, just don't get that, period. Like, it just doesn't exist. Which I'm not sure why they did that. I don't think anyone disliked the old way of doing it, honestly. My wash on this guy was extremely messy. So he's taking a little bit longer than the other ones to tidy up. There's nothing as awesome as having a bits box and a friend needing something and you go, I got you covered. Yeah, I mean, that is cool. Like, that's something that I don't think you really... I mean, I keep all the Primaris sprues that I don't use models from, or don't use parts of. You know, like, I've got a lot of Primaris arms and stuff. But I feel like you don't get the same level of customization you used to get. And I think, I mean, that's part of that is coming from the competitive scene, right? Where it's like they want everything to be a bit more balanced and a bit more competitive. And Tony was talking about that last edition, saying that he doesn't like it. And I guess I don't mind it, but I'm not a huge fan of it, I guess. I think it was better when there was more customization. I don't know anyone that disliked customization. I just like trying to source 5 Thunderhammers for a kit which contained 1. Yeah, I mean, that was a huge thing, Podger, wasn't it? It also cost a lot of money to do that, I guess. You either had to go to eBay and pay extortionate prices, or you had to go and like literally buy a whole kit of like... I think there's a few times in my life where I just bought a Vanguard Veteran kit, not needing any more Vanguard Veterans, because I think I've got 20 with Lightning Claws, a bunch with Thunderhammers, and then a bunch that are magnetized. So I remember a couple of times I think I just bought the Vanguard Veteran kit because I knew that there was like 5 Thunderhammers in the kit. I think it was maybe 4. But the Vanguard Veteran kit being was arguably one of the most melee heavy kits in terms of like weapon options. So it was definitely a valid tactic to just buy a Vanguard Veteran kit and be like, this Vanguard Veteran kit will give me, you know, 5 sets of lightning claws and 2 or 3 sets of thunder hammers, and I think there was 4 or 5 storm shields again in the Vanguard veteran kit. Like, it was one of the best. And I think a couple of times in my life I just bought Vanguard veteran kits for weapon options. Which, yeah, I mean, kind of sucks to get. It meant I had a lot of extra infantry bodies if I needed them as well, which is cool, I guess. You occasionally do go like, oh, I really need a... Well, I just did it. I was like, I really need an assault intercessor with a plasma pistol and a power fist because I never built one. So now, because I have lots of bits and stuff around, I can scrounge together and find the pieces. I think this assault intercessor actually got a Sangre Guard power fist. People are confusing. Yeah, well, I think people like the... I think people like the customization of the units. Probably more than the kit bashing aspect of it. Like, kit bashing is fun, but I think the customization of the units is probably what people like most. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like if you really broke it down, it was being able to customize your army and choose the weapon options you wanted to do and have all those things put together, I guess. And then you lost all that. But I mean, you can still do the kit back. I mean, as far as I'm aware, they still sell Vanguard veteran kits. You want a lot of melee weapons, go buy one, right? It's probably the most efficient way to buy one because you'll pay way more buying the individual weapons on eBay. Hit the like button, says Mike. Mike's always here getting people to like the stream. Thank you, Mike. Alright, my time here might be coming to an end soon. Well, it will be coming to an end in the next 10 minutes, but I can also hear kids becoming problematic downstairs. Oh, I managed to tidy up like 3 intercessors. Or 3 heavy intercessors. Hey folk, thank you so much for the gifted. It's much appreciated, dude. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have awoken.
Hey Podgar, look at that. You were so passionate about not liking kit bashing that all that chat made the YouTube algorithm think that you're the most active person in chat and you got gifted sub. How cool. I don't think it works quite like that, but there you go. Good morning, Cookie. Or sorry, Cook Emandus. Interesting name. Good morning. This debate infuriates you. That's fine. I mean, I stuck a pair of Dante wings on Commander Dante. Do you want to see him? I think they might have... I think they were a set of the Sanguinor's wings, actually. I'm actually working on a painting tutorial for Commander Dante. But, do you know what, I started it like months ago and then because Dante's not competitive, I've not been prioritising getting him painted. Need to get back to him though, I do need to get back to him. Oh, Podgar, you love my kit bashers. Thanks, dude. If you've not seen Dante with the Sanguinor's wings on him, he's pretty cool. Let me show you him. I think he looks decent. I mean, I've got a decapitated bloodthirster head on his base as well, because why not, right? I want to make his base a little bit more exciting. So, decapitated bloodthirster. Colin was very nice to give me a spare bloodthirster head. But, I mean, the wings probably don't work perfectly from the back. But, oh well, modelled for disadvantage. For whenever Dante finally gets some decent rules. Down with corn. Hello DTM, how are you? Yeah, I spent like half an hour trying to decide if I was going to stick the wings on him. Maybe even longer than half an hour. But they actually fitted on better maybe than I'd hoped they would. Tom, thanks so much. Yeah, big deal. 14,000. I'm the big cheese now. Not really, but I'm chuffed with it. 14,000 seems like a huge number to me. More than I ever thought I would have managed to achieve, so very pleased. No one I know in my real life really cares all that much about it, so hopefully you guys care, because I wanted to share. I was very excited about it. Don't forget your 14,000 subscribers on Twitch. I think I have 300 on Twitch. I don't know how to get more on Twitch. I think on Twitch you have to Warhammer 14k. I like it. And that's what I should have titled the stream. Why didn't I do that? I think you have to play games on Twitch to get big on Twitch, or you got a few people that follow on Twitch. It's fine. I'm not worried. YouTube's where I do most of my stuff anyway. I was going to say, you're like my one loyal follower on Twitch, Smitty. You're there all the time. I was going to say, I need to try and get time this week to get another session on these guys. I don't know if I'm going to get time, but it would be really nice to hurry up and get these guys finished. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing after the heavy intercessors. Maybe I should finally go and just finish some of my Land Raiders. Like, I was going to try and convert my Land Raider Crusader into Redeemer. I was going to try and buy like a 3D printed turret or something. Or sponson. So I have some sponsons that actually have flamers on them. You could paint your minis in a bathtub for Twitch. I mean, that is the thing that gets viewers on Twitch, isn't it? The topless streams. Why did I never think of this? I'm quite happy with most of my fans or most of the following being on YouTube, honestly. That's gonna be, I have no goal for Twitch, right? Like, Twitch can just tickle over. I'm going for 20,000 on YouTube. I don't know when I'll get there, but that's what I'm aiming for. 20,000 Blood Angels. Is there 20,000 Blood Angels players in the world? I hope so, yes. How much paint do I have on Repulsor and Vindicator? One Vindicator is like 3/4. The Repulsor is not even close to finished. The Vindicators, they're not even half done as well. Yeah, maybe I should paint those vehicles, I suppose, next. Smithy, you're subscribing? Wait, you're trolling me, dude. How can you not be subscribed? You literally unsubscribed to press subscribe again. Campbell says there's a lot more than 20,000 Blood Angel spares. Yeah, but I'm guessing, Campbell, a good number of them don't care what I think. Because I posted on Reddit one time about something, and like someone replied in the thread, and it was kind of a funny thread where the guy replied and said, "Public service announcement or something. I don't think Blood Angels Commander is like a." I think he basically just said like, "I'm not good. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a good Blood Angels player," or something like that. And I replied to the guy and said, like, you know, hey, why do you think he's not good? Like, and my Reddit name is not my Blood Angels Commander name. And he was like, oh, I don't think he's good because this. And then I was like, alright, thanks for the feedback, I'll try and do better. And he was like, oh shit, you're a Blood Angels guy. And I was like, yeah. So I think some people, you know, it's probably the same as like, I'm sure some people don't watch or like Chapter Master of Valrak. Some people are super opinionated about Valrak, right? But it's just, you like what you like. So, you know, some people maybe like the content I do, some people just hate it. Some people are like, God, that Blood Angels Commander guy's putting another post on Reddit. I'm sure somebody told me at one point, they were like, stop spamming the Reddit. And I was like, well, I'm trying to build, this would have been maybe when I was much smaller, I was like 500 subscribers, and I was like, well, I'm trying to build a channel. I'm trying to build a community, so I guess I'll post on Reddit. Someone's like, don't post your stuff on Reddit. Like, okay. So I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I don't think you can be everybody's cup of tea, right? But thank you so much for 14,000. Maybe I'll try and do something big when I hit 15,000, because that does feel like it will be a significant milestone. Apollo, thanks for subscribing. I'm sure you were subscribed as well, so I don't know if it's just a few people actually subscribing on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, all my streams go out on Twitch. So if it's ever easier to watch the stream on Twitch than it is on YouTube, then that is an option. Alright, 3 heavy intercessors. That's 1 hour 30 exactly, so that is pretty much me having to go anyway to go play with the kids and do family stuff. Thank you for hanging out, guys. Thanks for helping me hit 14,000 subscribers. These 3 are looking not too shabby. I'd say they're maybe at like... I don't even know what that is, Smithy. You cheered 1,000. Thank you so much. Tell me what that is, because no one's ever given me, I think it's called bits on Twitch. No one's ever given me bits before. I know you don't know. It's a hype train. Okay. You're definitely trolling me. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with Twitch. Yeah, I would say these guys are like 70% now. So, but they're getting there. They really are getting there. I'm gonna need to wash the guns. I'm gonna need to wash all the leather. I'm gonna need to do some tidy up here and there. Probably a bit of dry brushing. There may be 70%. 3 are there, so I get two. I get 2 more to tidy up. Maybe I'll get a chance to stream again this week. I'm not sure. I'd like to. And then obviously I can get some red paint on this guy. I think he maybe needs 1 more coat of red. Actually, he looks a bit. I think he needs 1 more coat of red. It's a bit chalky still, actually. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Have a great afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back for tomorrow night's stream, army show as normal. If you got an army list you want to submit, you know how to do it. Happy Saturday, Greg. Thank you for the congratulations, much appreciated. I'll see you guys tomorrow night as normal. And in the interim, I was going to play Death Guard on Wednesday this week, I think. We're going to play Death Guard. We're going to play Sons of Sanguinius. 10 bits is like 1 cent, so it was $10. Thank you so much for the $10, Smithy. You've been a great supporter of the channel for a long time. I appreciate it. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. If you can, leave a like on the stream, and remember, if you are going to buy any of those new models and you're here in the UK, you can get a good discount on Element using the affiliate link in the video description. So I think it was the Ballistus Dreadnought, the new Terminator Captain, and the Infernus Marines were today's models. Yeah, have a nice weekend to you as well, Sean. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.